Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Ritchie Plunkett from the Puppet Geek. We're here at Game On here in Sydney. I'm here with
Steve Wang. It's fantastic being at Game On. It's one of the first, well, it's the first show we're having here,
It is.
isn't it, really? And focused on not just game players, but game developers and how to get into the industry and what we're all doing here and how we all got here. So very excited to be able to talk to you about a lot of that.
Yeah, it's really interesting because, you know, we've got a mixed community here of gamers, YouTubers, also developers as well, which is really interesting because, you know, usually you wouldn't see these people mixing outside, but here when you have everyone, you know, all in the one hub, everyone gets to work together, everyone gets to exchange details and, you know, sort of learn as well.
Yeah, I think it's also a great example of just how, I mean, it's always been a fantastic industry to be a part of, from being a game player early on to you know, having the luxury of working in it. But you can see now through the YouTubers here, it's a greater connection that it provides between developers and players, and in many ways, like YouTubers are like an aggregator of people's voice that sometimes as a developer, it's hard to get, you know, a good representation. You know, in the past, often you get, you know, a few angry people who've got a lot to gripe about, or some fans that just have nothing but good things to say, and now there's so much more of a opportunity for connection and feedback with the people playing your games, and with games being, you know, more and more online components, digital download, mobile stuff. You know, obviously MOBA games and MMORPGs is our area.
It's huge. It's blowing up in the last like 2 years.
It's huge, which means also that the opportunity to evolve and change those games is like unprecedented. And before it's like we have to make our decisions, we have to sort of keep it under wraps, then we release it to the wild and hope for good reviews, you know, because it's in a box and it's out at EBs or whatever.
Exactly.
Now it's like part of it is, no, it's about evolving that game. What's the next download? Can we change the game modes? Can we add new content?
Can we improve it? Yeah.
Can we improve it? What do people want? You know, if they like it enough, it's like, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
You know,
because that's the thing. Because like, you know, the core, you know, you're not making it. I mean, as much as you want to like, oh, I love this. You know, you see developers put like stuff in games because that's like something they love. But as well, you know, it can make or break a game as well if the community doesn't like it or a certain thing, and you sort of have to work with that as well.
Yeah. I mean, we're in it because we love playing games as well as making games, and you know, I think secretly in every developer we just want to make our own games.
Oh yeah.
But having said that, we want everybody to like our games, you know.
Of course.
And so when you make that game that you know attracts that same spark in other people, then you want that feedback. What do you guys think? Oh, that's a great idea. Oh yeah, we're working on something like that. Well, you didn't quite like that. How could we, you know, work with that and change that? What, you know, can we have more competitions for this kind of thing? And we do a lot at Wargaming we have programs for different levels of testing as well. We've got a thing we call Super Test, which is like 1,000 beta test type players.
Wow.
You know, signed confidentiality agreements, trusted people, but giving us their honest feedback on what works, what doesn't work. You know, bugs they find in strange machine specs. You know, features they really don't like. And it's really, really invaluable having that kind of connection. And again, feedback through people like the, you know, popular YouTube channels. It's a great, as I said, like the difference between that and before, you know, you could always get some feedback, but it was always, you know, very, not necessarily representative of the community as a whole.
No, exactly.
And now it's much more...
because you're sort of getting, you know, you like, especially now, you can get feedback from the community. People who maybe haven't even played the game before, you're sort of like, okay, what do you think of this? And then, you know, you're getting that straight, you know, oh, I play this, I like this, but I don't like this. And that's someone who's not a fan of the game, but maybe you can get them to become a fan of the game because all of a sudden you found, you know, wall-to-wall tanks, wall-to-wall planes, warships. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, and one of the things, you really hit on a good point there, because one of the things that has evolved quite a bit since the original release is because, I guess partly because of where, you know, World of Tanks came from, sort of birthed out of sort of Eastern Europe, and they've got a pretty hardcore view of life.
Oh, they do.
It's like, yes, you know, there's nothing wrong with this interface. It is like, you know, easy. It's just got all this fantastic complexity. And so it was like a bit of a barrier going a bit wider to get people involved. So that kind of stuff and having more training missions and a bit more of ease of introduction so people could get past perhaps some of those barriers to see some of the goodness, you know, behind the depth of World of Tanks.
I guess like from actually first playing World of War Tanks, like in the early days, I did find it very hard. I was like, this is amazing. Like, you know, like you're playing like, and you know, the sounds, textures, everything is amazing. But then I was like, I don't know where I'm going. Oh, wait, someone's yelling at me because I'm going the wrong way. And then later on, a lot of training missions came out, and it was just very easy then to sort of pick up and play type of thing, which I find very easy for someone who hasn't, again, newcomers coming there, just going in training mission and just playing by themselves, learning, and then going into the hard, because there are hardcore players who play Wargaming.
Yes, there definitely are, and just really last month, in fact, it was only a few weeks ago, they had the Wargaming sponsored final, eSports final. Did you see that?
I've seen it. It was huge. Like,
I was an addict. Like, why are you staying up late? No, I know the time zone's not great, but I just have to watch the final.
At PAX last year, when you had competitions going there, you sort of see people like watching because it's on big screens, and then you have you see the fans in the crowd. They're like, oh my god, why is he going there?
That's right. What's he trying to do? He should be spotting them over there. Oh no, they're too far away. And to me also that was another great example of what you were saying. That one of my first great introductions to getting into World of Tanks a bit more was going. I had the same thing. Like here we're coming from the technology side of BigWorld, right? So it's like, and so I played it for a bit, and then I had that same kind of frustration. So what did I do? I watched some eSports matches, and it was like, oh really? And the first couple were quite bamboozling. Like they go, oh no, it's all over now. I'm thinking, but hang on, he's down on damage, and then suddenly they could see the timing. They could see that he was going to get support from another 2 tanks really quickly, and even though there was rushing support from his teammates, they were just that little bit further behind, and they were quite right. Sure enough, they destroyed him before, and they established a position, and that gave them the upper hand in the match. So it was like, oh my god, I've got to find out how to finesse my skills a little bit more.
It's so intense.
It really does.
And I think with esports as well, watching all of that, it helps people improve as well, because you learn from other players, and now that esports is becoming more, I would say it's already huge, but it's becoming mainstream huge. It helps people sort of recognize that, I can get help, I can watch these people every day and learn and improve on myself, rather than just, I don't know what to do, and you build a community out of that as well.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And even I saw some recent statistics talking about the games industry globally, and one of the things they focused on in terms of what we think are going to be some of the things coming out, which I would totally agree with, was the impact of esports. And if we go back just a short period of time, esports has been around for a long time, but it really was, this is like, if you become a super hardcore gamer, then you care about esports, and then you sort of kind of know about it, but you're not watching matches and you're not getting involved. And the streaming media through YouTubers and Twitch TV format for making all of that a part of the whole gaming culture means that now it's much more on people's radar. I want to watch what happened in that thing. I can learn a bit from that. And so the idea of then participating in those things is,
it's pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing, and that's always one of the exciting things about the games industry. It's just how quickly it changes.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes I try to remind myself, when did the iPhone come out? It's always been here. No, actually wasn't.
It's not that long ago.
10 years ago there was no iPhone. It was about 2003 or something when it
exactly. No, and now everyone has one.
That's right. And then the thought of a phone, and it thought of a phone that's doesn't have that kind of functionality.
Yeah. It's mind blowing.
And again, having tracked through games, I can still remember the days when you, please SMS your big long digit code to this strange number and wait while we send you a kind of almost unintelligible thing to your phone. This is the gaming future for phones.
No.
I don't think so. So it's always exciting looking at the next things to come, and
big times ahead.
Big times ahead, definitely.
So big things ahead. Also with you guys now, you've moved on to mobile gaming, World of War Tanks Blitz.
Yep.
Mobilize has been out for a while now.
Yeah.
But now you're starting to sort of work on that a bit, tweak that a bit, because you've got World of War Tanks, everything. That's all there. That's all settling and stuff. But now you're really focusing on mobile gaming. Is there anything which is in the works with that, or what are you trying to improve on that? And how's the feedback from mobile gamers who are playing World of War Tanks as well?
Yeah, well, Blitz as a mobile game has had great reception as well. I think we're now up to pretty close to 20 million downloads.
That's so crazy.
It's just, and again, it's adapting that for the phone and trying to look ahead. So it's one of those ones that's more complicated control, so we're not talking about something as straightforward as, Candy Crush or something.
No.
But that's the way so much is going. Everything is going more mobile phones and mobile tablets are obviously getting more and more power every day.
Surprisingly, even to play a PlayStation 2 game on your mobile phone. Like for me, like that's mind-blowing. But then there's kids who say, oh yeah, that's I play this game.
That's right, I play this game, and it saves me having to start up that PlayStation thing. And it's like, okay. So definitely a huge focus. I mean, there's like a lot of growth in those areas, not just in Asia, but globally, of course, it's a huge growth area. And it's something that from our perspective is at BigWorld as well. So we're looking at the technology side of things, a lot of cross-compatibility and trying to enable more rapid developments on mobile phones in lots of different shapes and forms. So lots of good things coming up for Blitz, but other game development opportunities around the corner. Because
it's something to work with as well, because like you said, it's a whole different platform, and you can't just port the game over. You have to make it work as well, and I think that's why it's so good, is because you have everything all there at the touch of your fingers. It's not hidden away. You don't have to play, because there's some other MMO games that I've seen, or mobile games on mobile phones, and the buttons are really tiny and everything. It makes it very hard to play. But like to have something like this, it's all accessible, and I think that's why a lot of people also like it, because like, oh yeah, I can play this on a mobile game, but not have to worry about trying to do all these finicky things where everything's all there, easy to access.
Yeah, that's right. And I think a lot of the playing patterns on phones as well are changing. It used to be almost a mantra saying, oh, phone games, they have to be light touch because it's like what you do at the bus stop. It's like, no, more and more these days people go home, hook up to their Wi-Fi and play some serious game on their phone or their tablet. It's becoming, it still has obviously the mobile component is a
people don't sort of,
it's less and less of that. So having a bit of a combination, so Blitz is one of those ones which is quite good like that, because you can have relatively short sessions, so you can have that light touch side of things as well. And there's
also can you play like a full.
I think the last time I played Blitz, I played for like an hour. I probably should be going to bed now.
Well, the first time I actually saw Blitz was at PAX last year, when you guys were sort of like, touching again, getting that sort of momentum going. I was like, oh yeah, I haven't seen this. I'll install on my phone, along the weekend of PAX. And then that night, I was actually like, oh, look, what does this do? Yeah. What does this do?
Yeah.
And I spent an hour just mucking around on it. And I think it's funny that how easy you can sort of get lost as well.
Yeah, that's right. And I think, again, drawing you in, you sort of can start to see different tactics emerging. You can start to see how you can finesse your different things. You start to, first you don't care about your crew away or whatever. It's just like going stuff like, oh, the trained one seems to work better, and maybe I should be aiming my shots a bit more. And that positioning, after I play that map a few times, I'll go up to the ridge is better than, So a lot of those sort of things as well that come out through that kind of a play. But yeah, a mobile, definitely a big focus for us in the future.
Moving
towards that,
Well, thank you very much, Steve. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll see you around.
Yeah, have a great time. I mean, I'm looking forward to also really seeing what they're doing on the educational side and the AIE and other game development.
For the first year, it's a good turnout.
Yeah, it's always hard with the first show, because people don't know quite what to expect, and particularly because it was targeting something a bit different.
Exactly.
It's not just purely a showcase of games, it's more of a connection of these different
like a community, and I think that's what works really well for World of War tanks, or Wargaming, is getting that new people to come in as well. And I think that's great for these developers as well, because you're sort of getting this different side of people who say, oh man, I haven't seen this, let me try it out, see if you like it, and then also you get that instant feedback as well.
Yeah, it is great. It's a great connection.
Okay, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much, Steve.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.